Yeah, Grace, I've asked you about rebounding before this year, and you've mentioned that it's been a focus of
Mhm.
yours. 11 tonight. How did that feel, and how would you assess your progress there?
Yeah, I my mentality going into every game now is, I need to get in double digit rebounds. Like I need to. So I think it definitely shows progress. It's something that I've been focusing on, in practice in my individuals again. So, every night that I can put up double digits on the rebounds, on the rebounds, on the boards is a good night. So happy with that for sure.
Grace, you talked about the team toughness. 14 offensive rebounds for you guys, 26 second chance points. What do you think that says about the drive and the hunger that you guys have?
Yeah, I just think that was a goal going into tonight for sure. Limit their offensive rebounds and make ours impactful. So I think not allowing just one shot to go up, us really wanting that second shot and making the effort. I mean it obviously showed that we did well with that, but again, there's just like that resilience, that drive to just keep going, that toughness. Yeah.
Claire, after only playing 13 minutes of the last three games, you played a career high 25 tonight. As a shooter, how do you say ready to come in and just get your shot off?
I'm sorry, what did you say? The second part?
As a shooter, how do you stay ready to come in and get your shot off?
I mean, I always have a towel on the bench to keep my hands nice and warm, but I think just like knowing that when coach puts me in, that means that he wants me to shoot it. He's always telling me like, shoot it, Claire, shoot it. And I think that confidence just keeps me ready, and yeah, I can feel it.
Grace, you were really effective on that kind of step back deep midi tonight. Has that been something you've been working on, or is that a shot you just found to be open tonight?
That's kind of why I get excited for the zone because I love the mid range. So I think that coming into this, I was ready to take that. I work on that every day in practice in my individuals again. So I think once it started falling, I just kept taking it. But yeah, that's my spot. I love that.
For both or either of you, this is now the second straight game where you've had to close late in the fourth quarter. There was DePaul on Monday and now tonight. How helpful is this for the team to be able to prove to yourselves that when the chips are down, you guys can execute and get it done?
Yeah, I think after last year, this year especially, it's been a goal to finish the game, right? Like be tough, keep your poise, coach keeps saying, until the end. And I think that it's kind of been like ingrained in our minds now, we are going to finish every game. We're not going to let up because, we don't want to let ourselves down. We don't want to let the team as a whole down. We put in too much work to, not finish these games. So going into the rest of the season, I do think that these past two games have given us a lot of confidence in that aspect.
Any further questions? Yeah, right here in the front.
Grace, I know you rushed. Do you feel like that offensive identity started to kind of form with this team over the past 5 games, or is this something that's still kind of being developed?
I definitely think it's forming for sure. We have become, I think, very comfortable with each other on the offensive end. We're really starting to look for each other, make that extra pass, just like get our teammates open. And, we have confidence in ourselves and every single one on the court. So we know if we pass it, they're going to take the shot, and we know they're going to make the shot.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, first thing, I just want to wish David Braun and our football team tomorrow good luck against Minnesota. Big game for us, and I think we're going to play great and become bowl eligible. So, go Cats right there. Looking forward to following that. Tough game tonight. Physical, hard-nosed game. Like we talked after the game with our team in the Big Ten. You're going to see a lot of that, so you got to be ready. And I think tonight helped us that, we could play at times small, and we had to sit our bigs on the bench, and they came back in and made big plays for us when they had to. And again, we got to stop fouling. It's something that it's been a challenge for us the first 5 games, and but they sat in the zone. And I think Claire really. Just help open things up for everybody else. And, she's a great weapon when we can get her the ball in the open court.
Questions? Right here.
So, obviously Claire had an incredible game. What have you seen in her in the offseason that has given you the confidence to give her increased minutes this
Yeah,
season?
she has an incredible work ethic, great attitude, great energy, and, she just lives in the gym. I think just really proud of her. She'll, in practice, she dives on the floor, she takes charges, and, fights for every loose ball. So, she's that glue that, she brings it every day, which is, makes her special. And she's streaky. When she gets hot, you're gonna see even deeper range than what you saw tonight.
Coach, what were some biggest shifts you saw from that first quarter into the rest of the game?
Yeah, I just thought we gave up, some easy baskets, some threes. They really attacked us high-low, and I thought we were ready for it. But Cleveland State did a good job, and their guards are crafty, and they got to the rim on us. We got a little sloppy with the ball, but I think the good thing is we just at the end of the first quarter we just didn't panic. We're like, hey, we're fine. Let's just go out there and start make an extra pass and try to get the ball inside out. And I think we did a good job. I think we outscored them 25-15 second quarter. That was huge. And I think going into halftime, even I think it was 1 point game. We just felt like we had a lot of confidence then.
Sure. Okay. What could improve three-point shooting due to relieve, Grayson Taylor's work inside?
I'm sorry.
What could improve three-point shooting due to relieve Grayson Taylor's work inside?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be crucial for us all year, and we saw Casey Harder hit 5 threes. I've seen Caroline had 20 points against DePaul the other day, so we know they're capable. I think Tate you're going to see, but they're just learning how to play with each other. But I think we have the ability to make 9, 10, 12 threes in a game, and I think that would make Grace's life and Taylor's a lot easier, and mine. More importantly, yeah.
Coach, Zamaya closed the game for you guys tonight. How helpful is it for you guys to have another creator and shooter on the floor in those moments where you need good ball handling?
Yeah, exactly, and I think we're very fortunate to have these combo guards like Caroline Tate and Zamaya that can play the point, they can play off the ball, they can score, and they can defend different positions too. So I think that gives us. And Casey Harder, I signed as a point guard, and she played power forward half the game tonight.
Coach, Caroline had a rough shooting night, but still earned her 39 minutes with 12 assists. What kind of leadership does she provide on the court that allows her to stay? Yeah,
she's a senior. She's been through a lot here, and we've asked a lot out of her the last couple of years, and I think she's playing with a lot of confidence. I thought DePaul. I remember a game we beat Wisconsin, and she had a perfect line score, didn't miss a shot, and had 25 points. I think her game at DePaul was one of the best games I ever saw her play on Monday. And, I think she's playing with confidence, and that's what I want to see. And, our players, are looking to her for leadership. And whether she makes her, like she's going to have, sometimes the ball is just not going to go in, but most of the time it will. And she's learned how to play through that. And I think defensively tonight, she was terrific.
Coach, this is your best start since 2019, 5-0. What can you do to keep that going?
I was here then, too. That was a pretty good team. It finished, what's ironic about that year, because of COVID, we felt like we had one of the best teams in the country. We went 16-2 in the Big Ten. I thought we could make a run at the Final Four in the NCAA tournament, and we never got a chance to prove it. So maybe this team will, will take a cue from Veronica Burton and Lindsey Pulliam, and some of those guys are still getting paid to play basketball, so it's good.
Right.
Coach, you guys went 9 of 10 from the line in the fourth quarter. How key is it for a team to know that if you need those points, you guys are going to be able to get them at a high rate?
Yeah, we got to do that. Teams that we got to go to the line with confidence. I think we have multiple players that aren't afraid of that moment. So that's important. We saw Casey go to the line, the last couple games and just, be really strong and confident. The actual miss was good for us because we got the rebound and scored 2 points instead of 1. So that wasn't on purpose. But I do feel, again, this year we have multiple people that aren't afraid of that moment. Good question.
Yeah, Coach, kind of on that point, you out-rebounded Cleveland State 48-28 tonight. What do you like most about just that development on that side of the ball?
Well, I give Cleveland State a lot of credit, too, because, we're pretty good when we can rebound, especially long rebounds and long misses. We're pretty good in transition. Cleveland State really did a good job of getting back and taking that away, because that's something we work on every day. So I give them credit. But, for us to rebound in the Big Ten is going to be crucial.
Coach Tate had the final 4 points for you guys in a season where it's kind of been difficult for her to get going offensively. How key was that for her to be able to basically close out the game for you?
Yeah, this is a new playing field for her. Everything's new, even though, she had an incredible career at Furman. And, she's still just, I want her to be aggressive. And I think she's such a great kid. She wants her teammates, she's used to having the ball and distributing, making everybody happy. I said, Tate, make me happy, score the ball, And I think we'll see that coming up because she has the game to do that.
Coach, how excited are you to get out of the cold and get down to Florida for this Fort Myers tip-off?
Well, it should be fun. It should be a great atmosphere, and for our players to, to kind of get away too. With, as we all know here, it's a lot of stress this time of year with finals in school and, basketball, all at the same time. So, it'll be a fun tournament. Teams, we haven't. I don't know who did my schedule, but. Abilene Christian and Missouri, all you want, So we got to focus on basketball too, and but it'll be a great trip.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Good trip. Thanks.
Yeah.